welcome back to Cityline. We certainly want to thank our friends at Metro Parks for supplying this beautiful video. We get to take a peek at the sun rising over Puget Sound and sun setting over also Point Defiance. And that used to be my commute for years when I would come over from Vashon, and leave it to Metro Parks to always provide healthy opportunities for us to learn, play, and grow, even when we are asleep. That is a wonderful view. Oh, thank you, thank you. So speaking of wonderful views, in front of me, I have two wonderful women who are here to talk about child and youth-centered communities in Pierce County. Becca Schrack, you are the Child and Youth-Centered Community Manager for Green Trike. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and Megan Clark, Family Liaison. Now that's a big title, especially when you're attached to Tacoma Public Schools. Welcome to Cityline, my dear.
Thank you.
So let's get into this. You have a partnership which seems so natural, and I can't believe it's just starting. I can't believe it hasn't been going on for 25 or 30 years with Tacoma Public Schools and Green Trike. So Becca, tell us how this was launched and what's the vision?
Yeah, so you're correct. This is something we've been thinking about for a very long time, but it was officially launched at the beginning of 2023. And Child and Youth Center Communities is our movement in Pierce County to make our communities the best possible place to grow up.
Exactly.
So we're really thinking about, how we can give more decision-making power to children and youth, and how we can really loop all of our adults, all the community members in Pierce County into this idea of creating a thriving place for children to grow up.
There we go. I love that. And I want to say, Pierce County and Tacoma has always been very community, child, and youth centered. But we came out of COVID with our children at a deficit. I mean, I remember your executive director, Tanya, talking about the COVID babies and how they had never seen other babies like themselves, and they were terrified of each other, and they were just tiny tinies. Yep. So there's a lot of work to do to get our youth back where they need to be, and also for me to combat that awful cell phone that they are all losing themselves on. So for both of you, and let's start with Megan, as we become more child-centered, what changes can we expect to see?
I think that it's really going to be impactful in just spaces looking like it truly serves the community. You know, everyone that walks through the door has something to be involved with, some way to be engaged. And I think that it not only works well for the community, but it works well for the people that it's serving, right? So you have the business owners that are getting more engagement from the community, and the community that's being served. So it's really beautiful in that manner.
And for you, what kind of changes are you looking to see?
Yeah, I think that it'll look really different depending on the sector and the setting and where you're at. But changes to policy, changes to the built environment, changes to activities and messaging, and really just being inclusive of all of the young people and the youth that are coming into our spaces, and making sure that they're having positive experiences. And Tacoma and Pierce County do this well already. There are so many examples.
Yes.
There's the free youth bus passes with Youth Transit. There's the Grand Cinema has their free family movies once a month. The Red Elm Cafe just down the street is such a hub for caregivers and children, and such a welcoming space. And so we just want to see more frequent examples of that. We want to see more child-friendly workplace policies, more children's book nooks at coffee shops, just more children and youth.
Libraries in the neighborhood.
Well, and look at the extended learning opportunities. Tacoma Public Schools partnering with Green Trike, that's pulling in so many organizations that we're able to collaborate with. So there is so much collaboration that exists and can further exist, that when you have children that really feel a part of a community, they are going to continue building that community. You don't have to call them in when they're 16 if you called them in and made them feel a part of something when they were 5.
Exactly. And beyond that, you are co-parenting with these parents.
That part.
And that's the other thing, is that it's one thing to invite a child into a facility that will help them understand how to sort blocks or how to have social skills with other children their age. But you also have the parents who are working 2 and 3 jobs, who are very, very busy, and they rely upon these programs.
Absolutely.
So it truly is a win-win. you've got 2 projects you're working on right now. You've got your CYC, which of course is the Children Youth Centered Community Programs. Then you also have advice from a kindergartner. Okay, can we talk about advice from a kindergartner? Tell me about this.
You know, I think that the advice from a kindergartner was really born out of like, how do we make people's day? You know,
Thank you.
And what I think it was, you know, back in the day they used to have a show that was like the funny things kids say, or
Kids say the darndest
kids say the
things.
darndest things.
Yes.
Well, kids say the darndest things, and it's they're not really the darndest. They're really plain simple. Just they're straight to the point. And so one of the things about advice from a kindergartner is it really literally is, hey, drink water. Just boom.
Yeah.
And it's a kid saying it. So you're like, man, you know, if a kid's like, and sometimes they're just regurgitating the things that we say to them, but sometimes we say things to people and don't listen to ourselves.
It's true.
So kids are so good about mirroring that and being like, hey, listen to us. You know, I mean,
Yes.
there's parts of, you'll see advice from a kindergartner where they just literally say, you know, hey, look, save boxes. We need them for projects. You know, it's like that kind of stuff is cute and it can make somebody's day. So if we can sprinkle that around the city and make our kids feel like, look, we're listening on a very large level.
Right.
So it makes them feel heard.
Oh my gosh, there is a best-selling book of quotes that needs to happen from
Yes.
this project, because I know parents would line up to give the quotes. I would line up to buy the book.
Right.
I used to teach kindergarten, and I was the best
yes.
cocktail party guest you could ever have.
That part.
Because of those stories. and
I'm
what
a
kindergartners
fellow
say.
kindergarten teacher as well, so I understand.
So let's talk about who we need to thank before we have to say goodbye. Nobody does this on their own. This magic, this symbiosis that Green Trike and Tacoma Public Schools have put together, this is just a glimmer of what's going to happen in generations to come. So who do we need to thank?
Yeah, Megan is one of the visionaries who has helped driving this movement, and there is a room full of visionaries who are doing this work all the time.
And hear that right
yes.
there.
Just-
Boom.
And this would not be possible without every single one of them. So
Right.
And as I look at that, and we have another video we're going to show this wonderful program on, I look at all the people on that slide. I can't even comprehend you got everybody into the same room. That is incredible. So what is your advice for a community member who's interested in supporting child and youth-centered communities?
I would say, you know, just by looking for the CYC logo, just in championing.
Now I'm doing it.
But looking at stores or retail spaces or places that you see that are really building up children and youth, and maybe even telling them about, hey, have you heard about CYC? Just paying attention, go to the website, look at the different events and activities that are going on that they're sponsoring, and you know, and really listen more to the children in your life, you know? I mean, that's just the most basic, simple, is just go home and listen. And when Beck and I were talking earlier, she said something really that was simple but profound. And she said, you know, not only listen, but then do something.
Do something. Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, it is that listen to them, believe them. We ask them to step out and be brave and use their big person voice. And when they do, you have to stop everything. Right. Even if you don't have the time to stop everything, and get that quote from that kindergartner.
That part.
Absolutely. And hopefully it happens at the dinner table and there's lots of good conversation. Thank you. You and everybody else for putting this beautiful program together. And I can't wait to have you back on where we can have more video of what this program is looking like. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. We have much more to come on Cityline. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this quick break.